everyone, and welcome to A Model and a Movie. Hello,
Yes.
Brian Clark. How are you, sir?
Jason Walker, I'm fine. And yourself?
I am exhausted, which
Yeah,
I think
that
we're
time.
both feeling it.
Yeah.
This has been the most teachery end of the year. I'm done. I've been, I think, in my entire career. And
Yeah.
it's 25 years of doing this. And
Well, I mean, we were talking, we were text message. I sent you the picture the other day, and you can put it up here if you want. I have 17 days left, whatever it is. It's May 4th. So, oh, by the way, May the 4th be with you.
Star Wars.
And my classroom's already cleared. I've put all my posters away, my everything in the hall. I can walk out the door right now. And I'm just done. I'm done. I am so tired and.
Yeah, me too. I'm exhausted, and I'm mentally. Yesterday was the first day I felt and this. I don't want to turn this into complaint section. Was the first day like I felt it in my neck, like I was just like that. Oh, like get away from me.
Gotta get Jamie to give you a massage.
I don't like massages. I don't like. We have this argument all the time. I don't like people touching me, so I don't ever. And I don't believe in knots. When people say there's knots, I got to get my knots out. And the masseuse says there's a knot. Those are fictional.
They didn't say knots.
Those are fictional. I don't believe in them. I believe in harnessing that pent up anger and
directing it into the right
into a certain direction. So anyway, our movie this episode is, you picked it, you say it.
Girls with Balls.
Girls with Balls on Netflix. So if you have not watched that, stop. We will be going full spoilers.
Yeah.
And going into it here in a little bit after we talk about what we're working on model wise. How's everything else though? You ready for Wonderfest? You got stuff picked out for the contest?
I do. I'll show you one or two here in a second because I'm not sure. One of them I'll definitely take, but
all right.
I was actually the other day when we were on Discord, I was kind of looking at my shelf at what I've built this year and just like, okay, what can I take? And what I like to do, because I've only entered last year, and I think I did it last year, and I think I'm going to do it again this year, which is just, what is it? The first two you got to pay for, and then the rest are free up to 10 or something.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna carpet bomb the crap out of it.
There's a lot of people that carpet bomb the crap out of that contest with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I mean,
hey, that's fine.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
And this could be the last time I do. I don't know. I said that last year too, though. So
you did.
my competitive juices now have kicked in because I got those. So here's somewhere the certificate of merit. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Is that what? Yeah.
Good old COM.
There we go. Yeah, I got
merit
two
award.
of them.
Nice.
And so, like, you know what? Maybe I can just get a bronze.
If you could squeeze on a bronze, that would make it great. That would be cool. Yeah. I remember my first bronze and being like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
After a few certificates. So that's great.
Give it a shot. How about you? You getting ready?
I am printing my ass off. It's been nonstop printing to try and have stuff for the table, which I kind of narrowed it down. I got everything I think that I'm going to have. I'm going to have Catwoman, which I'll talk about here in a second.
Cool.
A Godzilla, a Poison Ivy, and I'm going to have a Rosetta piece, I think. So a couple different things. And I have some goodie bags, some other little surprises I'm going to have there for new subscribers. If you subscribe on the spot, and we'll talk about that more, I think, as I get it together. But cool. Yeah, it's just trying to get things ready. Oh, and I'm printing. I'll have 4 of these. And we were just kind of talking about before we went. Are these the Jaws from Vengeance Studios? When this comes into the slicer, that's a big kit. It's huge, actually. It's giant. It's a really, really big kit. And so I'm like, I think it'd be cool just to have a couple of these, like just as a desktop, like I sit it in front of my computer kind of thing. So I started making these Jaws as like they're tiny compared to what they should be. And the Quint is, I'll just show you his head real quick to kind of get an idea of what I'm going to do with it. It's definitely miniature scale. Here's the Quint. There's his head. I don't want to lose a part, but that's his head's tiny. So the body's there. It's a great, like the shark is actually pretty big. there's a weird. Let me try and pop this out. I'm having some troubles with fitting, but it works. I don't know. You can see it. There's a weird cut where it cuts like
Oh
there.
yeah. Right
So
across the middle.
it's a hard seam to fill. There is a second option of printing that whole shark piece as one part, as one piece. But then the teeth get kind of wonky with this, so it was easier to print it in two pieces. So
Well,
there's
I
a
mean,
little putty work to do.
if you
And
sand that down a little bit and create a groove and then fill it with putty, it probably would. You
yeah,
could do it.
I
It
think
would be
that's
better.
probably the way to, yeah, it's going to have to go.
Dremel
I
it
was
up.
even thinking of filling it with resin, just that one part. Man, I'm having trouble getting this out. Yeah, there's a weird fit on that. Anyway, so just been printing and I started painting something.
Well,
And I'll go first then
yeah,
because we're
my
right
man.
there. I started painting the Catwoman for the table, which if anyone doesn't have these, and I'm gonna probably make some more, but these are from I think Iwata, and they're these turntables that have the clips for like for regular clips and for alligator clips, and you can kind of those. And there's
Yeah,
it spins. Watch, it spins.
yours is different than mine, but I
Yeah,
could just put it on the turntable.
I
But
love
yeah,
these fucking things. So, and we were just talking about the F words. So
hey,
I love these things. And I just got the whip hooked on the microphone. So I've been painting Catwoman and I was trying to decide on a paint scheme. And I decided on, I kind of want to mix. I think what it's supposed to be is more video game style where it's all black, like patent leather from the video game mixed with some of the movies, like a movie version. But I
what
really
is the face?
liked, my
What's the
favorite's
face?
always been, go ahead.
Let me see. What's the face look like?
Let me grab it because I had to paint it. And I'll tell this when people buy it. There's a weird divot that shows up on her forehead that I keep
Mhm.
having to try and sand out. But the face looks like this.
I think
And
that is a purple outfit
well, I
from the
kind of looked it
comics.
up, and there's about 5 different ones that kind of have parts that's like mix and matched almost. So there are some purple ones that look like it. There's some patent leather black ones. But my favorite's always been Batman the Animated Series one, where she has the gray suit with the black
Yeah.
boots and arms, like the gloves, and the black mask, and the black inside of her ears. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm doing the arms and legs black, and I'm gonna do just because her goggles come on.
Mhm. Yeah.
Her goggles, I think it doesn't have a mask over her face like the animated series. So if I do the goggles black, it'll kind of mimic that. And I want to kind of go for that because I saw someone else online paint it all like patent leather black with purple highlights and stuff. And I was like, I want something a little more visually interesting than just shiny black. So I wanted to do the kind of two tone. And I think the Monument Hobby grays will look really good with it. Like their dark warm gray will make a nice base coat for gray, and their bright warm gray will work really well in there. So
Did
I'm
your
gonna kind
voice
of go for that.
Did your voice just crack?
Yeah, my voice cracked because I've been talking so much.
34th puberty you're going through?
But I mean, it's a cool little piece, and then I'll put a picture of the finished like thing up here so people can see it. But I showed it on a show before. The other problem, there's a mini like issue with this is from CA3D Studios, and I'll have some other stuff of theirs later, and I'll post it. If someone wants one of these, let me know. I think I'm gonna go between $80 and $100. I haven't nailed it down yet. How it's gonna be? But this is the base, and so she sits standing up on the base like this tall. And there's one little issue. So if anyone does pick this up or does put it together with the gargoyle's right foot, you kind of have to put that one in first, and then kind of winch the other foot in and heat it up. It's weird how much 3D printing resin is like vinyl. Like you can heat it up like vinyl and it gets really soft. And same with this. So if you're having trouble fitting anything, always heat it up. Always heat when you go to like, if you have to clip a piece off as a support, it's best to heat it up first too. And it fits then fine. I'll probably have to put a little extra putty around it. But I think I'm going to do this in kind of like, not just your standard gray, but more of like a white concrete color with moths and stuff growing on it. The bad thing about this guy is I don't know if you can see it. The part breakdown is right across the back of his chest. So it's like the front half of the body just goes in there. So there's a lot of putty work that has to be done to make that look perfect. But that's what I'm working on.
Cool. That's awesome, dude. Did you get any besides stuff that you've printed? Did you get anything in the mail?
I have
Order?
not. And we mentioned, I think on the last episode, I have like 5 things pre-ordered from
Yeah.
X Plus, and I'm just waiting. I haven't got anything in the mail other than, what was the last thing I got? The Creature Bus, which I did the video for. That's the last thing I think I got.
Very cool.
Did I show the Godzilla on here? I think I did. This is the
Mm,
Godzilla I'll have.
no, you didn't show that.
All right, so this is the guy, and I'm working on. This is the one that's either going to be, again, similar, around 80 to 100, trying to decide on what it's going to be. And it has a pretty simple rock base
Is that the
that goes with it.
1995 Godzilla or whatever?
This is like
98?
a mixture of an original idea and the 2016 Godzilla, the American new one. And it's from Lord of the Print, and I think it's one of the cooler things they've ever done. But so I have this one, and this is straight, like, I haven't reduced the size or increased the size. This is just standard how it comes. I'm working on one that's huge to see if I'm going to try and do a couple of those. And my goal is to get 2 of them done for Wonderfest, but it costs a ton in resin, and I want to get everything else done first. So I have that. I want to talk about the color, though, I'm using for my Catwoman to base my gloves. I'm starting with a color from, and I want to see how this works. It might fail miserably, but I'm starting with a color from Games Workshop, Citadel, called Incubi Darkness. Instead of just starting straight from black, it's a really kind of dark blue green sort of color. And I want to start with that so I can kind of work my way up into black, or down into black, and then up into some different highlights with some color. So I don't just start at black. And I've only got the first coat on, so that's where I'm at.
No.
Actually painting something, it feels good.
Well, you're painting something that's not Blood Bowl. That's
and I'm painting
fire.
something that's not Blood Bowl related, which they're still sitting right there.
They're not going to be ready for Wonderfest. We're not going to play.
And I was thinking, we'll have to talk about it offline. I don't know if we want to try and learn to play Blood Bowl when everyone's trying, because it's like sometimes one game can take like 2 hours, and that's not going to go over well.
Yeah. We'll come up with something
Back
else.
to my Blood Bowl thing. I added the ground texture to the top.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
It kind of warped a little bit. Like,
yeah,
so I don't know. I have to see if that works.
Still looks good, man.
Yeah, thanks. All right, what are you working on? What?
What did you use for your
I use
texture?
Just straight Vallejo thick mud.
Oh, okay.
Just thick mud.
Okay.
That's what I've been working on. All right, what do you got going on?
Well, I put a picture of it actually up on Facebook. I think you saw it, the solar system for the lady I work with. It is a nightmare, but let's see. I kind of
why it's always the work ladies that are like, "Hey man, can you do this?" You build things.
It's a wooden kit.
Oh, it's wood?
Yeah, it's like that laser cut stuff.
Yeah, like MDF.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can show it without it falling. It doesn't matter. There's like all these gears inside that you have to do, and so you turn this, and then at the top here is a light. So the solar system will be up here, and this will be the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn it, and the planets turn, and the light lights up the sun, and then I take it out back and burn it in a fire. It is.
Has it been a nightmare?
Yeah, and if people, I don't know if people have ever not everyone maybe see. Look, it's something like this, and they just kind of pop out.
Yeah.
But you got to be real careful because
how many parts have you broken?
None.
Hey, that's good.
Well, I'm waiting to put them together, and I'm gonna break them all at one time. Damn thing.
Smash.
But so that, yeah, and then I finished. Actually, it was one that I showed last time. That finished it. It's for my daughter comes home from college tomorrow, and I finished her Michael Myers. I didn't put the knife in his hand, but she wanted it where it's like half old and half new face.
Gotcha.
So I kind of,
damaged it up a bit, weathered it.
Yeah. And it's got the little light on there.
I have one of those on the docket to do for a family friend as well. Oh, you lit it up, or it came like that?
Comes like that. It's a little.
I didn't know that.
Did you get a new one? Did you get one?
I got the newer one. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes with the lights kit. The only thing you got to do is the hole for the light in the back here isn't big enough. You got to make the hole in the pumpkin, and you got to drill the hole, make it
Okay.
bigger, so it can fit. But beyond that, it's plug and play, bro. That
Nice.
and I've been on a Michael Myers kick. Got that one. That's one of Paul Gill's specials.
Paul Gill, Gillman Production.
That's right. And I love Michael. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Some people think
Is he really? He's your favorite slasher?
Yeah. And I know why. It's because I still remember I watched it with my mom. It came on TV. I think I was 8. And I was like, let's watch it. Like, because the commercial, he's got the white, he look cool, maybe 9. And I've been chasing this monkey ever since. You can't ever get that feeling back. That first time you're scared, like really scared
Yep.
at a movie, and you can never get it. And sometimes you're almost there, but not. But anyhow, so we go upstairs after the movie's over, and at the end he's gone. There's just the breathing and all that. And I forgot something in the basement. And my mom said, and she knew. She went, well, Brian, why don't you just go downstairs and get it? And I went downstairs. I turned every light on the way down, and I don't know what it was. That's not important. I grabbed it and I flew. I heard every light boom, 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 all the way up. And I get upstairs. She's like, "You scared?" I'm like, "No." I don't remember that. So, and then I got this done, which is I think I might take this one. This is one I think I might take.
Okay. Those are both his too. That's
yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
This is the new Michael Myers.
Nice.
And I did the eye
all jacked up.
Yeah. So I painted it and then I went over it clear, or not clear, with a thin coat of white, so you can kind of see it underneath. It's milky, and I don't know, man. We'll see.
We'll see.
And that's
kind of what you've been doing.
I got those done, got them over there so that I could focus on lumber. But
please make sure you show us that thing when it's completed. I want to see
it. I have to get it. I have to get it to you, or I have to get it back to her before school's out. And that'll probably be before we record. So I'll make a video. I have a picture.
Oh man.
But anyhow, as I said last
you're just
time,
turning it.
Turning it with a match. My local hobby store's going out of it. We talked about that, and I bought a lot of. Well, I found that what I'm doing is whenever I get paid, I'm just going up there and seeing what's left and buying stuff, because you can get it cheaper. So I found this. I thought it was just kind of cool, little MiG stealth fighter, Russian fighter. I don't know.
I
don't know.
If anything, you could use it for parts.
It's small. It's 1/140. I don't know. It's going to be tiny. I mean, here's how small it is. The directions are on the back. I mean, that's how you know it's small, kid. So I grabbed that. I got the new Mandalorian Boba Fett.
Oh, beefy Fett.
Yeah, it is beefy. I can relate to him though. So.
Yeah.
I got my German gray for my half track. Remember I said I was going to paint it all?
Yep. You're going to just do it all. Yep.
Right.
All Army Man color.
Oh yeah. Tank.
Another tank.
I don't know. Huey. Well,
and these are like, do they have a lot of stuff left, or is it slim pickings at this point?
When I went, there was some good stuff left still, but that was a week and a half ago, somewhere in there. So 2 weeks ago, because I get paid tomorrow. So yeah. All right. This one, dude, I don't know. If this wasn't on sale, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, but it was cheaper, and it's one of those that you look at and you go, "That's different." So I did it, and I don't know. We'll see.
What is that like to be the toy or just a regular?
No, it's a plastic.
It's supposed to be. I'm thinking like that's my first Tonka truck I ever got. Was like that dumb truck.
That's exactly why I got it. Mine too. The metal Tonka truck. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly why I bought this, because I had the Tonka truck.
You should paint that fluorescent green so it looks like the Transformer, Devastator, the you know how they had the fluorescent green construction trucks that turned it?
Yeah.
No.
Because I bought it because of the Tonka truck.
I know. That how big's that
And
going to be?
it is
Tonka truck size?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, look how thick it is. That's a big
Yeah.
one. It's almost uh four you can look at this.
What is it?
14 and a half inches long,
Oh man.
6 and 3/8 inches wide, and 5 and 5/8 inches high. So 15 inches by 7 by 6.
Yeah. Okay. That's a big truck.
I might be selling this at Wonderfest instead. And then
You could plant flowers in the back of it.
I'll tell you what, I got to stop buying stuff because, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
running out. My painting area is getting smaller. My work
Yeah.
area.
Yep. I know how
Did you
that
ever,
feels.
did you ever see the movie Megaforce?
Yes.
Did you like Megaforce?
I love Megaforce.
I just bought the DVD, and the reason I bought the DVD was because they put a model of Megaforce out. Did you know that?
I did, and then I totally forgot about it. Is that
Yeah, baby.
dude? Who did it? Who's it? Who made it?
Uh, Motoroid.
Wait, what does
Motoroid.
it come with? Motoroid?
It comes with all the motorcycles, the
You know what?
Tacom,
That's not the one I think I saw.
and it all goes inside. It's
I used to watch that movie all the freaking time.
dude.
If people
it's
have not seen Megaforce,
watch Megaforce.
watch Megaforce. What?
And all you, yeah, this is. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. And people,
What? Motor? How much was it? And where'd you
70?
get it?
Amazon, $70.
All right. I think yeah, Megaforce is a great movie. It's one
It's
of those
great.
80s kid, like I watched as a kid a billion times and then ran around the neighborhood pretending I was in Megaforce.
And it was on the back of every. I don't know. Did you collect comics? I still have them.
No, not
But it was
like,
on the
no.
back of like every Marvel comic for that year. There was Megaforce with the cars streaking out of the side and everything, and that's what got me. And if you haven't watched it lately, it's terrible. But it's
It's awful.
It's bad good. Like
dude,
fighting.
the end where he's blue screen flying on the motorcycle to get
And
into
then he
the.
gets up there and he's like, yeah.
Oh my god, Megaforce is great. Megaforce is great.
And then,
I had a total. Speaking of 80s movies, because I had a total brain. I don't know how I missed this, or I knew it and forgot, or drinking forced this part of my memory away. But Phantasm is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. The whole series, Phantasm, is up there. Beastmaster is one of my favorite movies of all time as well, from the 80s, that I watched as a kid over and over and over again. How did I forget or not know that they're both directed by Don Coscarelli? They're both same guy, same movie, same guy. I had no idea.
Is Beastmaster the one where he's got the sword and he's like making a sword? He's like, it's not ready yet. It's like real, like 50 feet long. Is that Beastmaster? I can't remember if that's
in there. I'm trying to remember too. It's Mark Singer, and he has ferrets, Odo and Poto, I think, and a black tiger, an eagle, and he's fighting against the Jun Horde. Total fantasy.
Yeah,
I think
I know. I saw.
He's got the K-Pock that like he throws and
like
that reminds
Crawl.
me. Remember I said that like Crawl. It wasn't the Crawl thing that my dad made for me. It was the K-Pock from Beastmaster that I would wing around. But I found the popsicle stick pocket knife that my dad and I made.
Nice.
Right here.
Hmm.
And then I wrote "Fishing is it" on it.
Dude, you could take that on planes.
I could. Anyway.
And now we just got banned. We're good.
Yeah.
We're no longer allowed.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt with my.
No. And then that's the last of the model. But my daughter, as I said, comes home. We got Mother's Day coming up. With my wife and I just celebrated our 25th, which you saw.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my 51st is coming up on my birthday this year is Mother's Day, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Because you got my wife, my mom, and my mother-in-law, and then there's my birthday. Yeah, so we'll celebrate that at a different time.
I called my mom about Mother's Day yesterday and I forgot. They are going out of town that they will not be around. And I have no kids. Grandma died. Jamie's mom lives far away. We ain't got to do nothing.
Dude, you can come hang out with me. Come on out to
Nah,
Queens.
that's a long ride.
Sea Town, baby. And so, do you know about the city of York in England? I'm sure you've heard of York, nothing else. You know, it's supposed to be the most haunted town, the most haunted city in the world.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And so it's called the York Ghost Merchants. And my daughter's as twisted as I am. You've met her online,
Yeah,
you know, my sense of humor and all that. So the York Ghost Merchants, what they do is they make little and big ghosts and they sell them and they're limited. They're hard to get, really hard. So I actually had to go to the secondary market because they'll put them online to sell and they're gone within like 3 minutes, like hundreds. So I had I got a big ghost and the baby ghost from, it's going to be my daughter's, it's called a Boo, a little Boo. But yeah, they're just these little tiny.
I like simple ghosts like that. And then it brings back, that's a memory of like my grandma. When she scared the hell out of me, she dressed up like a ghost like that, just a plain sheet, and was sitting at the dining room table. And I walked in the room like, what the crap is that?
So we got Daddy Ghost and Baby.
Oh, those are cool. With the streaky eyes? Is that a trick of the light? That's cool.
No, it's streaky eyes.
So it looks like they're weeping.
And they got
that's awesome.
But they've got like lime green ones and brass ones, and they're super collectible and expensive, unfortunately, on the secondary market. But for my girl,
that's good.
End of year. All right, so that's all my crap, dude. I know I'm ridiculous.
Well, no, hey, cool ghosts.
Yeah, thank you.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to mention I keep forgetting to mention on the main show, the Mark Worthling head contest. If you're interested, I have a couple left. If you want to do the what can you do with Mark's head? I have a couple left. Contact me, modelclubtv@gmail.com, and I'll get one out to you. I've seen one person's entry so far, and it is a really cool idea, and I'm kind of excited. I'm trying to get time to work on mine. It's just not coming together, but
I'm jealous because I just, there was nothing I could come up with that, you know, so I just never even put in for it.
The thing I wanted to put it on, I found it, and then I went back to get it, and I can't. It was a print that I would have to do, and I can't find it again. So it's just, I don't know, something went wrong. Anyway, movie talk. You ready?
I'm always ready.
Girls with Balls.
Girls with
Brian,
Balls.
my question is to you: how did you hear of the movie? Was it just a Netflix recommendation? Did you see something? How did you find it?
Flipping through Netflix, you know, doing what everybody does, looking for something to. What I'll do is I'll look for something to watch, and I'll do screen captures, which I'm sure is like the oldest man thing you can do, and I'll capture like the homepage of stuff. So I go, oh, I can remember to watch this, when I then put it in my queue, which it's there, so it's, you know, stupid stuff like that. But, or I'm sorry, it's my list now, not queue, because whatever. But so I have it in both places. So yeah, it was one that was just on my, and honestly, it was just the title made me laugh. So it made me laugh. I was like, yeah, you know, volleyball team gets caught in the woods and see what happens. So
did you have any idea it was a French film?
No.
Yeah. By looking at it, I had no idea. At first, I'm like, what's wrong with my remote? Why is it in closed captions? And I'm checking around. I'm like, oh, it's French.
See, and when we watched that other movie that was what was it?
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, there you go.
It was in German.
Right. And I watched it dubbed over, and mine was dubbed. I didn't even know it was like coming out until you told me. I knew it was dubbed, but I wasn't sure what language it was dubbed.
Because it was in the beginning, like right in the beginning, one of the actors said something in English, and I'm like, wait, what? So that was English, but it's French. So I got confused. Did you watch it dubbed or read?
Dubbed. I can't.
Okay. I read. I watched it's subtitled.
I can't, you know.
I explained this before. I want to hear it in their voices and kind of see how the comedy worked. And I think it worked fine. I didn't have a problem. This might be my problem with it. And I didn't really realize it until I was taking screen caps for this, is that there's always someone saying something. Like there was rarely a time where I could grab an image from the movie where there wasn't text across the bottom of the screen of someone saying something. So it's like it's constantly saying, and since it's a comedy, sort of, it like it's there should be things being said, but there was never, and it's a fast movie. What would we say? It's like an hour and a half, hour and 20
Hour
minutes,
seven.
something like that. And so
With
yeah,
credit.
there's a lot to get in there. To its credit, yes, did not overstay its welcome. I
No.
don't think, and I think any longer would have been like, okay, enough with this. But
I agree.
all right, premise. You want to give everyone the premise of the film?
So we start off
Wait,
with
time out. Spoilers, everybody. We're doing full spoilers. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. We're starting here. So go ahead.
and according to the YouTube comments on old MCTV, some people have watched it already and are not too happy with me right now. But that's okay. That's all right.
Really? I haven't read any of the comments yet. Okay.
There were
Or
a
no, I
couple
think I
people-
did see one.
There was, I forget who it was, but they were like, "Yeah, if
I think
you're
it was
gonna have
Spike.
watch garbage like this, then well,
I don't think it was garbage. All right, go ahead.
well, maybe we're on the same page.
Okay.
Anyhow,
all right.
so it starts off with a volleyball championship that is clearly nationwide because of the 3 fans who were in the stands. And by the way, I had to watch this twice because I watched it the week of spring break when we recorded the other one.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting here, we were talking this weekend, and I was like, man, what I couldn't remember. So I was working on my daughter's kit, and I put it on and just kind of let it run on the side there.
So I watched it twice as well, but I fell asleep in the first 20 minutes because it was like Saturday night after Discord, and I'm like, well, I got to start over. So I started over. I got like 10 minutes in, but I was zonked.
And that's, I will say, I'm going to say, you have to fight through the first 15, 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And that's where, like, because it felt like something completely different in those first 15 minutes. And I was like, man, this is going to be dumb. And it was dumb, but it wasn't dumb bad. Like, continue going.
Yes. So they win the championship by an illegal move or something. I don't know anything much about it. Like, she steps on a girl's back and spikes it, and they take off, and they're being chased. And anyhow, the coach, who I think is the best part of the movie, by the way, I really do.
Yeah.
Oh,
at first I thought it was Nick Frost when I was watching it from Simon Pegg movies. From
yeah, I can see why you say
like
that.
the first, when they first show his face, I'm like, wait, what's he doing in this? And then it wasn't him at all.
No, but he's funny, and I don't know how it plays in the French, but in the English dubbed fun, they made him. How do I say this safely? Effeminate. How about that? The effeminate. The voice was very okay,
really?
girl, and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
That's bizarre. Now I got to go back and watch that, because in the French side of this, not at all.
No,
not at all. The opposite of that.
Yeah, he's effeminate up. Definitely, like, he made a comment at one point, like, okay, all of us girls, we gotta something, that kind of thing. So they definitely made him homosexual in the dubbed version, which I don't know. Well, I'll have to watch your version, the version you watched. Just
dude, no way. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to stop and talk about that for a second. How could you? Because I want you to go and watch some of the just what?
Yeah.
And no problem either way.
Oh yeah.
But to completely change a character based on a dubbing like that, like I didn't catch. Unless I missed something, I didn't get that at all from that. So that's weird.
I thought they were just playing up what the original intent was, but apparently not.
No, not.
So now we're gonna have to watch it for the next episode, but we're gonna flip flop.
Double up.
I'm not watching this movie again.
Okay. So for people that might have had a problem with like something in the story, like if it's, maybe try the regular French one, because I wonder if they changed anything else now. That's weird. Okay.
Well, the girl who was the spiker who won the game in your version, was she like just a big pain in the butt, not a team player?
Mm-hmm.
Mean? Yeah. Okay. So I think the rest of it's probably the same. So anyhow, they end up driving home. They the coach just runs over. I think it's a deer or a dog. I can't remember what it is.
Chicken, I think. It was a chicken.
Whatever. And there's so much gore and blood on the windshield from that one animal. It's the funny. I laughed out loud. It's like there's so much that there's no way that that little whatever it was. And so I was like, okay, I see what this is going to be. Right then, they come to your typical. Now, I will say this: this movie is filled with all the tropes of horror films. They took something from every horror film that's ever been made,
Yeah.
put it in here in some way.
Yeah.
They come to the road. That's the road's blocked, but they can go straight, or they can bite through it, or take the creepy road to the right that no one ever goes on. And they take the creepy road to the right, of course, and end up at a convenient type store, market. It was kind of unclear. Restaurant, at a bar. I don't know. It was like a little bit of everything. And for some reason, the one girl starts dancing on the table.
Like I said, and that's where I was like, "What?" That's where I stopped it the first time. Like, wait, how did she turn into a stripper all of a sudden? I don't know what happened.
And it was the one that everybody likes, the mean one.
They're the hottest one, but nobody liked her because she was a jerk. According to the movie, the hottest one.
So they're there, and they're basically like backwoods, like your stereotypical hillbilly type people.
That's what I was gonna say. Hillbillies. There's a French in the French version. They call them hillbillies. There's There's hillbillies in France. I guess I don't. Okay.
Is it le hillbilly?
I was like, all right.
So they end up insulting the one guy. Like licks the girl's face, and they fight, and they run away, of course. And if they end up with their back of their RV, which they travel in, has been marked as they drive away. You see the mark, whatever. And they end up with hole in the gas tank.
Yeah, they put a hole in the gas tank, and then at the middle of the night, they're dragged out and held up at gunpoint, and basically.
Did the big guy, the main bad guy, the older guy, is he in American films? He looks familiar.
He looks super familiar, and I can't figure out. It didn't. He looks like somebody. Yeah. I know I've seen him before in something.
He was good too, though.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah. He blasts. This is where it takes the turn into complete gore fest for some of these things. It's not super gory, but the gore that is there is over the top crazy. Like it's not constant. There's a lot more gore in Evil Dead Rise. I'll say like in terms of
gore. This
gallons.
is 1980s prosthetic,
very much in the vein of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Like perfect compare, like, which I think is a lot funnier, but yeah, that's great. But it's like that level of gore. Like when it happens, it's holy crap. That's a lot of stuff.
The girls have their hands up, and the main guy shotguns the one girl's hand, and it takes a chunk out, and you look at it, and you can see the sinew and all.
It's really well done. I thought it was well done for what it was.
It looked real. I mean, it really did. It didn't look fake at all. And so that's when they just scatter. And Coach is gone.
Yeah,
he's like,
just runs the other way.
Takes off. They all take off, and he goes on his own. And you don't really see him for probably another 20-25 minutes, isn't it? Somewhere.
Yeah, something like that. Let's go straight to that. Which leads to, if you're a dog lover,
that is
one of, I think the funniest parts of the movie. That was like, I can't believe they're doing this. Where the guy basically pulls apart a chihuahua and stretches it.
Because they went to the classic, he goes to see the dog. He's like petting the dog, and the dog him on the groin.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I laughed out loud. He's on the side of the hill trying to get the dog off of his groin. He's like grinding up against the mountain. It was the funniest freaking thing.
Yeah.
Laughing out loud at that. So I think we were in the same boat with this movie. I thought we were going to be on opposite ends.
Well, I didn't laugh probably as much as I've like, there's parts that I thought were funny, but it wasn't, as a comedy goes, the thing that was the funniest thing in the whole movie to me was the Boy Scouts. And when the Boy Scout leader just got done, he maced the girl, and there's a blind kid sitting there, and he takes the can of mace and tosses it to the blind kid, and it hits him square in the face. And he goes, "Oops, I forgot. Sorry." And to me, that was hilarious because it was like a little throwaway, just dumb thing.
Yep.
And it was the perfect, like, dumb thing. And then him pulling apart the dog was my other part that was like, okay, so that's funny. There's a couple really funny things. And
well, as the girls are running, what made
Yeah.
me laugh also was there's like groups of 3, I think.
yeah, they kind of split up into, yeah.
And they're running. The one girl, I don't know what their names are at this point. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't
She's like,
remember. their
now
names.
look, this is what we got to do. I'm a survivalist, and I've done this before. And then they shoot her right in the head, so no one has any help. She just drops.
Yeah, just drops dead. And the other, along the line of the little throwaway jokes that I think are funny, my other favorite one is when the 2 girls are hiding in the water, and the bad guys are above them. And it was a straight nod to Lord of the Rings, where the hobbits are hiding and the Nazgul's over the top, because it's the same shot. It's exactly the get off the road, and they hide under this kind of tree root area. But then the guys start peeing in the water, and which is funny of itself. But when you think they're done, there's just like little drips that kept hitting them in the head, and they're just sitting there like, and it goes on way longer than it should. And I think that was, to me, one of the funniest parts too, because it was so over the top and dumb and I like dumb shit, like dumb humor of just simple little jokes like that. I think are always the best instead of the over the top sort of thing. So
I have that. I have written down on my little board here, P. So.
What did you think about the character turn of Morgan? I do remember her name. That's the spiker, the where she ends up killing the team leader and taking
It's typical. I mean, there's nothing. It wasn't anything special. I mean,
I didn't expect it.
Weasley one, and then she becomes the badass.
Yeah, I thought it didn't seem to go that quickly into being a murderer. Was like.
You call it murder, we call it survival on the wall side.
Just because she didn't want to be kicked off the team is what it was. That's where it was coming to. If you're a horror comedy fan, this movie would probably be for you. There's something to enjoy in there. Is it the greatest thing ever? No, not at all. Is it the worst thing ever? I have seen much worse.
Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future. Yes.
We have that as our baseline.
That is our baseline. That is a great baseline. We got to find a movie worse than Crimes of the Future at this point, because this wasn't like that comment I did see is like you said, it's the first 15 minutes. Once you get past that, the setup, you're like, oh, okay, this is where it's going. And there's some cool stuff. If you're a splatter, Dead Alive sort of horror comedy thing, it's well worth the hour and 15 minutes or whatever it is in there.
Yeah.
The best one of those, no, but it's right there.
Okay, so you got Morgan. Is that the girl who was mean?
Yeah, the bully. Yeah,
you got Morgan and Coach, and the other girl that you were saying who becomes the badass. I can't remember her name.
Oh, I can't remember her name either.
Anyhow, so they end up fighting the one guy.
If you're watching this right now, it's the girl directly above Brian's head. It's the one. Over a little bit, but no, wait.
How about that?
No, it's in there. Yeah. You'll see when we're talking about it.
So, that Morgan kills Coach or the captain. I can't remember her name.
Yep.
Accidentally stabs her, but then is like, "Oh, I really screwed up," and starts just kills her and blames the guy who they were just fighting, who they cut his head off. And the body continues to show up throughout the movie, just walking in the background, and it is freaking
good. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
I thought that was good.
Nowhere, it's just walking by. So like, I want to say it's not like the entire film, but like 2 or 3 times it pops up.
Yeah. To be, how could I say? I think I tried to avoid this last time for something, but I'm a dude. The hottest hot chick of the whole movie. And it was so obvious what they were doing when the tall girl is crawling in to the shop when they're grinding up the people's legs to eat. Oh, and the whole shot is just her ass, like back and forth, and her ass. And I was like, oh, all right, that's what we're like. Well done. Well done, director. Good choice.
And that's where it becomes, we find out that not are they just hillbillies, not only is it just like people hunting girls in the woods for fun, like Game of Death, but then it becomes cannibals in a cult. And you're like, what? It's like everything that
I
you
took
could
everything, threw it in there.
mix it up, see what happens. And the cult stuff was actually kind of funny and cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
There's
they
some,
had a cool symbol
like,
on
just
them.
the characters. I think some of the bad guys, they must have put out a casting call for weirdos. If you just look like a weirdo, come apply for this movie, because some of the one dude peeing, his face is all messed up and it's not makeup. He's just a weird looking guy. And that was the one. There's the one guy that had the lower eye, and I couldn't tell if that was makeup or if that was that guy's real face, because it looked messed up. And I was like, hey, that might be real based on some of these other people.
We'll have to do an IMDb dive on it to find out. But yeah. And speaking of, so like they played into like the goofiness of it. Like the one girl's by herself and she starts, okay, I'll do a striptease. I'll do whatever you want.
She starts singing Macho Man.
Yeah, and she's Macho Man and she's stripping in.
Was it Macho Man in your dubbed version when she's doing that? Okay.
And then she turns them on and they start making out with each other. And so she's like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing then. It's like,
yeah, that was funny.
It was funny, man. It was some good stuff.
So,
Coach, of course, he runs away. We come back and he's sitting there and he's like, I told them to run. If they don't live, it's their fault. I told them to go. They didn't come with me. I mean, so he's trying to justify that he left. They go back to the camp, and this is where it becomes girls with balls, and they break out the volleyballs. Guys have guns, and they start hitting them in the face and knocking
spiking
them
volleyballs
with all over. And there's blood. They hit them in the face, and the blood shoots 50 feet in the air. And, I mean, it's just absolutely insane.
It is a bloody movie. It is a very bloody movie.
It is, but fun bloody.
Fun bloody. All right, Brian. Overall score here. What are you giving it?
I give it a B.
A B. Solid B.
A solid B.
I'm going
because the first time I watched it, I was annoyed. Watching it again, I really enjoyed it. I did.
Okay. You know what? I think it would do better, like on repeat viewings. I'm just kind of having it on in the background, so you can kind of ignore some of the other stuff and just look for those extra funny parts. I'm going C+. Like, in just average, because that's what it is. It's your average. It's a have it on in the background, funny, bloody. You don't have to invest too much into it. It's good, solid, average C+. A lot better than I was at math when it came to school. So C+. So we have a B and a C+. That's not that far off, actually. So we're pretty close.
No, I thought yours was going to be a lot lower.
No, I didn't hate it at all. I didn't, not at all. And even like going back and pulling the pictures, I was like, oh yeah, maybe this is a little better than I thought. And like I said, I think watching it again might do better.
And like I said, when you told me, because I want to say, I was trying to get us to record a little earlier, and you're like, oh, dude, I haven't even watched it yet. I fell asleep watching it. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. He's going to try and
to my credit, it was 2 a.m. on Saturday night when I started watching it, thinking I would make it through. And
I pulled the plug on Discord early. I was gone by midnight my time. So,
man, Kit-worthy. Is anything Kit-worthy from the movie? Is there anything you'd like to see as a Kit?
Honestly, I think the cult leader sitting on his throne with, just like completely exasperated.
Right next to that throne. Yes, there's some cool details you could put in there. So the one girl that they shot in the head, they ended up decapitating and stuffing her head, like mounting her head. And it's sitting on a turntable on the phonograph next to him, like spinning. And you're right. That I think would be a really cool Kit of him just being a weirdo, sitting in that throne in that cult garb, the phonograph with the head spinning next to it. That would be kind of cool.
Now, what about now a couple years ago, I want to say it was Paul, but I could be wrong because I'm not good with that stuff. That's your other fat guy.
That is
the Bela Lugosi. Is it Monsters of the whatever not Bela Lugosi. the Hammer film, but it's the cover and it's got the plate on the head on the plate.
Oh, yeah.
Dude from Star Wars,
Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing.
What is it? The House That Dripped Blood.
There you go. Thank you. And they had that kit that came out. I think it was Paul.
Yeah,
it might be.
It was Paul.
And,
Yep. Or
and
it was a
he-
Jaeger Army piece. One of the two. Jaeger did it. Ended up doing for him.
and I was like, you know what? You could do that similar thing with the cult leader holding he was like holding the girl's head.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. 'Cause
Yes. Yep.
too.
That would be a cool kit. As far as the girls go, I think you would need at least something of the girls to make it feel like it's like a good companion piece to go with that. But they're also kind of generic. It'd be like, what do you do?
Right.
I would love a kit of the coach pulling the dog apart. Just
Get
with the dog stretched out this far. Oh man. And there'll be pictures here so people will see what I'm talking about.
Or even with the dog on his crotch dancing around.
And he's spinning it. Oh my God. So I think I recommend this movie. If you're looking for just something dumb and like to make you laugh a little bit, absolutely worth a watch. Not Oscar worthy by any means, but I would say watch the French version and read it, like, because that really that bugs me that they changed it, because I didn't get that feeling from the coach at all in the French version.
I'll have to watch a little bit. Yeah,
I would actually. We could talk about it the next time. I would like you to watch just some of that and see if I'm wrong about if I just missed, if my gaydar's not working very well right now.
Okay,
because I didn't pick that up at all, which is strange. No, definitely worth a watch. I think if you're a fan, anyone who paints what we do and is into it, I think you'd find something funny in that movie.
And honestly, it was a perfect, like, rainy Saturday afternoon. You were going to mow the lawn, but
yes.
you can't. Which
I was thinking the same thing. It's one of those movies that if like I was a kid and I had HBO and you'd watch it, like I was talking about Beastmaster. This would have been like my Beastmaster as a kid, like just watching it on a Saturday or after school. Oh, that's on again. Let's just leave it on. It's one of those movies. Cool. Yeah, no, it's totally cool. Good movie. I have my movie picked.
Oh boy.
Are you ready?
Well, okay, now I cleanse the palate. Remember, I said I was going weird because you've been deep, dark, and delicious, as they used to say on those chocolate commercials. What was that? Deep, dark, and delicious.
I don't. I'm going to stay away from the deep, dark, and delicious because.
All right, so I got to write this down so I remember. Let's bring everybody down and show them the dark side of Jason.
I don't know how it's going to go. But it was one of those things that I was suggested to me on the Amazons. Doesn't look too bad. It's called All Eyes. All Eyes. And just the little blurb, I'll give you a little hint. It's about a guy who runs a podcast who investigates, like someone had told him, hey, there's a monster living on my property. And so he goes to like investigate. Okay. And that's all I kind of read. I didn't want to read any more. The only thing I did see when I was kind of it was a Kickstarter. Like these, it's two brothers. They're I'll put all this next time, but and they've made a couple other movies, and it's just a couple guys that made a horror movie. So,
hey, that's why we're here, right?
That's why we're here. And again, we go off the beaten path. We're not doing the normal movies that everybody kind of watches. So.
We're not,
and we're not doing old horror movies. We're going, well, we can.
But people are going to see that stuff. So we want to find stuff like there's going to be hidden gems. I honestly think Girls with Balls is a little bit of a hidden gem. It is.
I think so. It would be something that I would have skipped right past because in that picture on Netflix, you don't get any inclination of what it's about. You don't. It just, you wouldn't know that's a horror movie with a dog being pulled apart.
In a cult with a head on a record player.
Right. So and that's why the point of this show is to kind of just find dumb movies that we like or good movies that we like. People have been suggesting things, which I don't know. I don't know. You can suggest a way. We may get to them. I'm never going to say we're not going to take a suggestion. But
Right.
go ahead. Feel free to suggest movies. Maybe one time we will. If it's something I'm like, oh, yeah, that does look good. But my backlog of stuff on my watch list is so big that, but like it may come to a point where we might want to see something at the theater that came out and be like, hey, let's go see this right away. Like something good or something new. But I want it to be something most of the time we haven't both seen. So,
Right. Right.
you know, I don't want to go back and watch old movies. Like, there's no fun in that. I want to be surprised by things.
What you mean, movies that you've already seen?
Yeah, or something that I've seen and you haven't.
Yeah, or vice versa. Yeah,
So
that's why.
yeah.
I agree, and I think that like I really want to see Renfeld. I think that's going to be. I want to, Nick Cage.
Okay, so that was almost my suggestion because you can rent it right now online.
Can you
It's rentable.
through what, Amazon?
Yeah, it just came up yesterday, I
Is
think,
it really?
or the day before. So
Yeah.
the next movie is All Eyes. That's what we'll do, and then we'll see how it is. I hope it's I hope it's okay. All Eyes.
All Eyes on Me.
Yeah. How many times I used to say that. Eyes on Me.
Is it? Oh, that's the Tupac. Is it got like mountains or something?
And it's like red background or red monster looking thing.
You want to know? You want to know something funny? This is how much. Not kidding. I just found it. Check mark on my watch list.
Oh, look at that. All right, cool. So not too bad. All right. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time, sir. Thanks for joining me to talk about that lovely suggestion you had. Girls with Balls.
All right, my man. Always a good time.
All right. Take care, sir.
Later.